Hey there, nerds. Cubby and Jim here with some awesome Star Wars news for you. Actually, I don't know if it's necessarily awesome.
It's informational.
It's informational. It's eye-opening, maybe even. Actually, it's kind of inconsequential.
I think it gives us insight to how much George Lucas loves this universe.
He's like this right now. Yeah.
So you may have seen this. Jet Lucas, George's son,
Jet Lucas, yeah,
came out and did an interview, and he spoke about how his dad had been working on the next movie about a year before.
The next, trilogy, like the next set of Star Wars.
Specifically, even plotting out how 7 was going to work a year before Disney even came into the picture.
I wonder if them finding out about him doing that was the whole reason of like, well, maybe we should scoop it up.
Well, I have read stories that George Lucas has told now that, I don't remember his name at Disney, but he approached...
Michael Eisner?
No, he was gone. It was actually Eisner's second in command, and I can't remember his name. But he had approached George Lucas, because they had worked together before, and said, hey, any thoughts about selling off Star Wars? And George was like, no, back off. But it put the nugget in his mind that, it was there. It was an option. And George has been always kind of looking for this entity to take over Star Wars someday when he's no longer around, but that would treat it with the respect that it needed.
I feel like Disney is the best place. I mean, we've talked about this a million times already. Like, I feel Disney is the best place for it, but at the same time, it's very easy for someone else to come into Disney and take over and completely ruin everything. And which I don't imagine will be the case. They usually do pretty awesome things. So no matter what, it's going to be cool. But in other casting...
real quick, one of my favorite things about the Star Wars coming over, or actually all of Lucas coming over to Disney,
What?
George Lucas said, finally, my home is back together because Pixar and Lucas is back together. And most people don't know this because they associate it with Disney or Steve Jobs, but George Lucas invented Pixar.
Yeah, he's the guy behind Pixar. He was the guy behind Pixar. He wanted to make his movies better, so he started Pixar and Lucasfilm and all this other crap.
But then he didn't want to focus on animation, so he sold it off. And I love that story.
It's cool that they're back together. It's not necessarily his, and it's
way different than what he.
I like that he still has like at least a say in what's going on with Star Wars and all this stuff. So that's really cool.
But anyway, sorry.
No, completely cool. In other news, though, it's kind of just a rumor at this point. I'm going to take all casting news as a rumor. Yeah. But the dude, I forgot his name. I'm sorry, but I didn't see it. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, but the guy that plays Abraham Lincoln
underrated.
Vampire Hunter, apparently is going to be Qui-Gon, and I'm not sure if it's supposed to be 7, which doesn't make sense, or like background prequel stuff.
Well, we discussed this before because we're uber nerds, and we know that because of the books, Qui-Gon is basically the first Jedi to realize being a ghost, have that ability after death. Yeah. And because of, whether you like it or not, it happened, George Lucas is tinkering. The ghosts that we see are now the younger versions of themselves whenever we see them. Darth Vader became Hayden Christensen. Obi-Wan Kenobi became Ewan McGregor. So I'm almost wondering if they're continuing that trend, and that's why Qui-Gon is now younger ghost.
I'll say this. It's cool because those actors are still around, yada, 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 yada. It sucks that they did that for Return of the Jedi because you see his dad at the very end, and you can use Ewan McGregor, but like you see Darth Vader at the end, and that's how it was when I grew up. Obi-Wan was old when I grew up. It should have been like that. Liam Neeson's still young. They could have used him. He probably is going to be too busy doing Taken though, so whatever.
Yeah, it's a little bummer. But now on the flip side, they have mentioned that they're doing some origin stories, and an origin story on Qui-Gon Jinn would be really badass. Right. Because I've always been curious, well, if he's been so powerful and Obi-Wan has said, you could have been on the council years ago if you just agreed. It's like, why? Where did you go wrong? What happened? And then Christopher Lee was his
master.
Yeah, so it's like, ooh.
No, but didn't he also study under Yoda?
Yes,
but it's like a couple other people. I mean, Yoda kind of teaches everyone something.
Well, that's where I think the details of Lucas's world get a little fuzzy because I think he kind of rewrote history there as he was going along. Because Obi-Wan makes mention that you'll learn from the Jedi Master that taught me, and that was obviously Empire Strikes Back, and it was Yoda. It's like, but Yoda was there, but it was Qui-Gon Jinn. But I mean, that's different.
Here, I'm just going to interject real quick. Episode 3, Yoda teaches young ones. So he teaches it.
I understand.
Either way, awesome news that we actually get someone pretty cool into one of these movies, and I hope that they use they do flashbacks of Qui-Gon and how awesome he is. But
and there's tons of footage now. But we do have one little other tidbit. It was a very big, minor teaser of the new animation that's going to be on Disney XD. I was kind of devastated that the Clone Wars is off because I really got into that. They did some awesome stuff with bounty hunters, and I really loved it. But the new one, Star Wars Rebels, they did a teaser trailer. Didn't learn much other than the name and then it's actually happening, but it looks interesting. It's cool. It definitely plays right with episode 4.
Give it a chance.
With the intro, so definitely give it a chance, and hopefully we'll have a review for that. But let us know what you guys think of all this in the comments below.